everyone. How are you doing today? It's Michaela Valletta, also known as the Body Scientist, and I'm live on my IG. I will save it and repost it to my YouTube page. Make sure you follow me in both places because I don't always post the same thing in both places. Just to let you know who I am real quick in case you don't know. I have a background in exercise and sports science and nutrition science. I'm a sports nutritionist, exercise physiologist, and just completed a Master's of Science in Medical Cannabis Science and Therapeutics. And I've done several videos talking about how I am very anti-pharmaceutical, okay? I have been that way for many years, and there's several videos where I speak about that. I'll post some of them below on my YouTube channel so you can check out my other videos if you want to dive deeper into that. But I really have committed my life to studying all the ways that we can bring our body to its highest level. I'm into bringing the body back into balance. You know, if something happens, you know, like unless it's an acute injury, like, you know, something hits you or something like that. If you're having pain, inflammation, different problems in your body, I always wonder why that is and how to bring it back into balance. So I'm just going to tell a quick story about how I use cannabis oil to heal my hands, okay? It was maybe about 2 weeks ago now, okay? I have the iPhone 16 Pro or whatever, right? The biggest iPhone 16, and I got it on New Year's Eve, okay? It is now February 9th or something, February 8th today, right? So I got it on New Year's Eve, okay? And from the time that I got it, like for a few weeks, it felt a little bit cumbersome. There were times that I was holding the phone and like the edge of the phone was like digging into my hands. So I noticed little uncomfortable things. It was a little bit uncomfortable. Then maybe about 2 weeks ago, it was like a few days, and I'm also very conscious of not keeping cell phones on my body because they expose us to a lot of radiation. So I don't hold cell phones to my head. I don't use Bluetooth headphones because it exposes your brain to a lot of radiation. So I'm very conscious of that. So I felt like maybe about 2 weeks ago, I said my hands, it just felt like a little bit stressed from holding the phone. And I'm thinking, does this phone have more radiation or what is it? I remember thinking that and being conscious of it and trying, when I was using my phone, because you know, we use our phone so much, I would try to sit the phone on the desk and use it that way instead of holding it in my hand so much. I started becoming conscious of that. And then, so I'm thinking that, and then I was thinking that for about like 5, 6, 7 days. And then all of a sudden, my hand just blew up. My hand's like all right here. And I should have taken before pictures. My cousin told me to take before pictures and I didn't do it. But the whole back of my hand on both sides, it was completely swollen. It was fat and swollen and red. My knuckles were swollen. Okay, my knuckles, but you could not see how you can easily see my bones and my veins? You couldn't see any of that. It was so swollen. My knuckles were swollen. You couldn't see the bones at all. It was all red. And then my fingers, right? So it hurt for me, even for me to make a fist and open my hands, that was so painful. I would try to go drive my car and I couldn't like even drive the car. I couldn't go to the gym and pick up weights. Like my hands were, and that never happened to me before. And it was super painful, super swollen, super red. And I'm like, what the hell, right? And so I started Googling, I'm like, am I getting hand cancer? Like, what the hell? Like, it was just, I'm like, is this from the radiation from the phone? I Googled to see if anybody else had those issues. I started seeing some blogs where some people said that their hands, they were getting pain in their fingers and stuff like that from the new iPhone. Some people were attributing it to the weight. I didn't know, but I'm like, when you have a lot of pain and a lot of inflammation, your body's telling you something's not right. You know what I'm saying? So the only thing I knew to do, and it was debilitating. Only thing I knew to do, I keep cannabis oil. I keep cannabis oil on me all the time. It's a part of my apothecary because there's certain things that I keep around me all the time so that no matter what happens to me, I have what I need to heal myself, right? And cannabis oil is one of those things because it has so many applications. And I have so many videos where I've spoken about different applications for cannabis medically. A lot of people, when they talk about medical cannabis, they're just talking about like chronic issues. But they can be used for acute issues. And that's what I use it for because I don't have any chronic health conditions. But I use it for acute issues like this issue right here, which is acute chronic, okay? So I took this cannabis oil warm and I saturated my hand with the cannabis oil, okay? Saturated this part, and it was bothering me. The palms were also bothering me a little bit, but it was really bad back here in my knuckles and my fingers. So I massaged the cannabis oil all into my knuckles, and touching this was so painful. It was so swollen, it was red, and I don't turn red like that. I'm brown, okay? I don't get red. You don't see me turning red, okay? It was red and puffy. And so I just kept, massaging the oil into my hand, into the knuckles, my fingers. My fingers were hurting on the inside and the outside. It was painful. Just to even do this, to even move my fingers around was painful, let alone opening and closing them, okay, or opening and closing my hands. So let's say on a Wednesday, I completely saturated all of this with the cannabis oil. I couldn't really do anything, couldn't go to the gym. So I probably saturated it maybe like 2 or 3 times on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, I wake up and it was about 65% better. So it was about 65% of the pain and inflammation had gone away. So Thursday, I keep up with the same thing. I'm saturating my hands, my knuckles, my fingers, inside and outside the fingers, saturating all of it with cannabis oil. I did that about 3 times that day, 3, 4 times. I just kept doing it, kept rubbing the oil on, okay? Thursday night, I go to sleep. I wake up on Friday, and it's about 92% better. So now it's like 8% left, okay? And so that Friday, I kept doing the same thing, massaging the cannabis oil, all into the fingers, all into the knuckles, all into the hands. Saturday, 100%. And I haven't had a problem since. This was like maybe about a week and a half ago. And it hasn't bothered me since. Hands have not swollen up again. Now, I don't know what that was. I don't know. Thank you for the compliment on my hands. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was from the radiation from the phone. I don't know if it's from the weight of the phone. But my fingers, my knuckles, and all back here was completely swollen, completely red, completely painful. You couldn't see any of my bones. I have bony hands. You couldn't see any of these bones, any of these veins. I couldn't move it around. I couldn't drive my car. I tried to drive my car. It was so painful, So that's how bad my hands are. And the cannabis oil is what saved my hands. I really don't know what I would have done if I didn't use the cannabis oil, okay? And there was some studies that talking about how cannabis oil really helps with hand pain. And I was like, what does that mean? I think cannabis oil can help with any kind of pain. But I remember seeing a study about that. And I had a friend who I saw for a brief moment. And when I saw them, because I usually have my cannabis oil on me all the time. But when I saw this friend, I had like a little bit of oil in the jar. And they had a hand injury. And I gave them my oil. And I said, use this. I think it will help you. They later told me it didn't. But I now realize it's because they didn't use it. It's not just, I didn't just put it on once. I didn't just put it on once and that was it. No, I told you that first day, I saturated my hands, okay? The whole day I was putting oil, rubbing it on. A few applications. And then the next day, it was 65%. That day, did it again. So from like a full bottle of oil, I probably used about a quarter. This is an ounce of oil. I probably used about a quarter of it, okay? In that 3-day time period in total of just saturating my hand with the oil. Okay, so if I had just done it once, I would have been like, oh, I don't see the big deal. But I knew to keep doing it. And it's because cannabinoids are very potent anti-inflammatory agents and very potent painkillers and anti-inflammatory agents. Very, very potent. This is the reason why cannabis has so many applications. It's so good for sports medicine even. Anytime somebody has any kind of swelling, it could be from a bite, it could be from getting hit, an injury. Cannabis oil or cannabinoids are super good at bringing that inflammation down. If you have internal inflammation, ingesting it helps to bring the inflammation down. Right? So there's many applications. So I just wanted to do a video about that. I have many videos about using cannabis medicine for a variety of things. You can find them on my YouTube channel and my Instagram. On my Instagram, I also post a lot of books and stuff like that. And I'm working on my own stuff. But yeah, cannabis oil has many applications, and I wanted to share that story about how I use it to heal my hands. If you have any stories that you want to share, go ahead, share it on my YouTube, share it on my Instagram. If you learned something from this video, please like it and share it. I make cannabis oil, so if you're interested in grabbing some, feel free to email me. Hit me up on Instagram. Email me at thebodyscientist81@gmail.com. Like the video if you learned something. Share the video if you learned something. Follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. And I hope you guys have a great day and take care. Okay? Bye.